Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Max Danielsen Show. I'm your host, Max Danielsen, and today's really episode, or it's going to be a 5-part series, is a series that I thought I'd never have to make, and of course that being about Kobe Bryant. Before I even get started on it, just to list a couple things about Kobe. He was born August 23rd, 1978 in Philadelphia, the son of a former NBA player, Joe Bryant, and his wife, Pamela Cox. He was named after the famous beef of Japan being Kobe beef, and by the time he was 6, he and his family moved to Italy, where he became a humongous soccer fan. But not only was soccer his passion, but as well the game of basketball, where by the age of 3, he got heavily involved in it, and ironically was a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. By high school, he attended Lower Merion, where he became a standout athlete, and by his senior year, he led his school to the first state championship in over 53 years, going on a 31-3 run, averaging 30.8 points, 12 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 4 steals, 3.8 blocks per game. Afterwards, he declared for the 1996 NBA draft and was picked 13th overall by the Charlotte Hornets, and that same day was traded to don the famous purple and gold. From there, the rest of Kobe Bryant's history is remarkable. A 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time Finals MVP, the MVP of the 2008 season, a 4-time All-Star Game MVP, 18-time All-Star, 15 All-NBA teams, 12 All-Defensive teams, the 1997 Slam Dunk champ, the 1997 All-Rookie second-team member, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, his retired 8 and 24 in the rafters of Staples Center, and undoubtedly a future Hall of Famer. All these honors and accolades are what Kobe contributed and more to the game of basketball. From his signature fadeaway to kids of our generation yelling Kobe every single time they shot a piece of trash at a trash can, his legacy is evident throughout the 21st century and will be evident even beyond. This past Sunday, Kobe and his daughter Gianna, and as well a handful of others, were taken from this world far too soon in a tragic helicopter accident in California on the way to a select basketball game. Kobe Bryant was 41 years old. From his first NBA basket to the very last in his 60-point finale versus the Jazz, Kobe captivated the NBA spectrum and led a new era of basketball that will never be forgotten. It won't be the same yelling Kobe again. It won't be the same without seeing him courtside. It won't be the same without hearing his voice and the mentality that he brought to the game again. And most of all, the game of basketball will never be the same again. So in this series, I am bringing on a series of guests who were impacted in some form or way by Kobe's game and meant a humongous lot to him, not only to their childhood, but to the game that they became to love, which is the game of basketball. So bringing back now is someone who's been on the show before. I believe he was my 4th guest on the show. That is Mr. Jordan Miller. Jordan, welcome back onto the show, my man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Jordan, I'll be honest with you. This is something that I don't think we ever saw coming. It was something that I know shocked me when it came up, and I imagine it shocked you as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I honestly didn't even want to believe it. I saw the news when TMZ broke it, and I was just in disbelief for probably 3 hours after I heard it.
I mean, even so, the worst part about that TMZ thing is they broke it even before the Bryant family knew, or any family knew, which, shame on TMZ. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, but you almost wanted to think it was not true because knowing Kobe, he always comes back.
Yes.
Like, even when he ruptured that Achilles, he came back. He was still the Kobe Bryant we all know and love, and now here he is that he's no longer here anymore. I mean, it's just hard to believe still. It really is. So with these series, I'm going to be asking my guests a series of 3 questions and kind of get their perspective on what Kobe meant to them. So the very first question, ironically, is what Kobe Bryant meant to you.
Kobe was my childhood, man. I mean, growing up, I was a huge LeBron fan, and my best friend, he was a Kobe fan. And when I was younger, I don't think I really understood how much of an impact he had on the game and what he meant to it. And as I got older, and the older he got, I started to realize how different the game of basketball would be without him in it. I mean, there's no other player that I know that you can just say, okay, he has that Mamba mentality like Kobe did. Kobe was truly one of a kind, and I'm blessed that I got to see that growing up from a young age, and that I was able to watch him grow as a player and as a man to be not only a champion on the court, but also be a dad and an inspirational figure in the world after his career.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that he was a tremendous dad. He had, I believe now it's 4 daughters. They just had a brand new one that was born just a little while ago. And especially bringing that Mamba mentality, I know Gianna had that. I mean, she had a lot of potential. And I know me and another guy who will be on the show later, we were talking about, like, she had a lot of basketball potential.
Oh, yeah.
She was a really, really good basketball player. The next question I'm going to ask you is, this is one that I know we're going to get a lot of varying answers from this, and that is, what is your favorite memory of Kobe?
I have to say that his finale was definitely my favorite moment of Kobe. A close second would be, I want to say, back before 2010. I know it was in the playoffs. He hit a buzzer beater against the Phoenix Suns to win the game. But aside from that, I don't think I can go with anything else other than his finale. And I think it's because, you know, what other way would Kobe end his career? You know, a 60-point game.
Now, did you watch the rerun that ESPN did a couple days ago?
I didn't. I really wish that I did.
I did, and man, I forgot how remarkable that game was.
Yes.
I really did.
I mean, I don't think that there's any other way that game could have gone, honestly, other than Kobe asserting his dominance one last time. And, you know, like I said earlier, I don't think that we will ever see another player with that Mamba mentality. You know, you hear about players doing the little things right, you know, showing up X amount of hours early, putting the work in, staying late, putting work in, man. But Kobe was just...
Kobe did it all. He did it all, yeah.
He was at the top of that. I mean, he set standards for veterans. When he was young, he was setting standards for veterans of how hard work should look.
I mean, Kobe was a gym rat, to say the least. He really was. I know there are a ton of stories you can find online where he would get up at like 3 or 4 a.m. and just be in the gym just working his butt off. And that's something that just Kobe Bryant was always great at. He was in definition greatness.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember even so when he retired, like, it was hard to believe that this new age of basketball was now gone.
Yes.
You know, because, I mean, even so, not only was Kobe, you just had Dwayne Wade retire last year, Dirk retired last year, who's probably my idol from my childhood. And not only that, but the end of the season, Vince Carter's now going to be gone. Yeah. And I believe now that's everyone from that draft, if I'm not mistaken. Or from the 1997 draft, I know for sure. And we'll go on here to this very final question. What's the game of basketball like now without Kobe at all? Because we knew how it was when Kobe wasn't on the floor anymore. He was always still courtside, and one thing that I know was Gianna got him back into watching NBA basketball because she was a humongous fan of Trae Young. And that's kind of like when we saw this season where he would always be courtside. I remember a couple weeks ago, he was courtside with talking trash talk in Slovenian to Luka Doncic, and when he said he learned 7 seconds of Slovenian just to talk trash to Luka Doncic. But yeah, I mean, what is now the game of basketball without Kobe Bryant?
I think there's definitely a void, and you know, like you said, there's a big difference between him being out of the game as far as his playing career as there is to now, where he's just completely not there. Because, I mean, I know him and Kyrie Irving, they were particularly close, and he mentored Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie learned a lot from him. And, you know, there's a lot of young players that didn't even necessarily play with Kobe. You know, a lot of them are hurt too just because of the impact he had on their life. You know, just knowing that Kobe's there, a lot of players going to him and asking for advice, him being a mentor, or just being a friend.
Right.
There's definitely a void now, and it's really sad that we'll never get to see his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be really sad. Because
And
I know it was going to be good. It's Kobe.
definitely.
He's always good. I'm actually going to ask you one more question because I just thought about this. So with this now, we saw the Dallas Mavericks, of course, just retired 24. That no other Maverick will do that in respect for Kobe Bryant. So then how does the NBA carry on Kobe's legacy then? And how do they honor that legacy?
I don't think that there's a way that they can completely capture his legacy, but I definitely think that they should do. The Lakers tonight, they're at home, their first game since the passing of Kobe Bryant against the Trailblazers, and I know they have number 8 and number 24
Right, I saw that.
on the court, and they've changed the All-Star game format.
Which is so
For this
complex.
year.
They literally, all you could have just done, have each player, or just players either wear 8, 24, or maybe then the captains wear 2 for Gianna.
Yes.
But the NBA then goes into a completely chaotic idea.
And I've been seeing a lot of stuff where people have been actually petitioning to change the logo.
Yeah.
And I personally am a fan of it, and I'd be fine with them changing the logo, but I just don't see it happening. And
Yeah.
that's
It'd be extremely hard, especially for marketing reasons. I mean, even though, having Kobe as your logo, that's not going to be a problem. It's just now, like, you have to rebrand everything and get all that. Honestly, if you were to honor Kobe, I'd rather him, like, the NBA championship trophy be named after him.
Yeah,
That seems good enough for me.
that's actually
Like, because that just seems like something that honors not only what he did, but the things he accomplished. Whereas the logo, it's just a logo. It doesn't have his face on it. Doesn't have his name on it. It's just the NBA logo.
Yeah, and that's another reason why, I'm kind of uncertain on how they can carry on his legacy, because, you can do things in remembrance, but I don't think there's anything that they can ever do that will fill that void of Kobe Bryant being gone. And it just makes it so much worse because of how it happened and the timing of it.
Yeah.
He was, what, was he even 5 years retired? Had he been
Barely 5 years.
It's sad. Not just because he was a basketball player, but just because he was a dad, just a person. It's sad to see somebody who impacted that many lives go in that way.
Well, Jordan, thanks again for coming on to the show. That is going to do it here for episode 1. Make sure to go out, check out episode 2. That's going to be following this. It's going to be a series that will be a 5-part series. So thank you once again for watching this, and make sure to go check out episode 2.